Okay, so here we go. Children between ages 2 and 11, 2 and 18 spend about 4 hours a day watching television. This adds up to about 2 months out of every year. I'm trying to persuade you to not let your children watch television more than 1 hour a day during this period in their life. And hopefully I'm going to be successful in doing this. So, you all probably have children one day. Hopefully, maybe you already do. And in my speech, I'm going to show you that by letting your children or your future children watch a TV, it will have no no positive educational effect on them. To start with, children between ages 2 and 11 are very fond of programs such as Sesame Street, and I know those are all very popular. But these programs, although they're said to increase their cognitive abilities in an immediate range, over the next period in their life, it won't help them down the run. And according to Gerald Lesser, professor of education at Harvard, and who had played a major role in the development of Sesame Street, states, sadly, we have not been able to show any conclusive evidence that our program has had any lasting effect on the child's education. This may sound like, okay, well, who cares if the Sesame Street has an educational effect? But you're letting your children waste their time watching this program, whereas they could be spending it doing any other activity, learning how to play the piano, learning how to play the guitar, playing a sport, doing something that's actually going to improve their life someday. Next, I have something here to show you that is a huge finding that I saw. This is for ages 6 to 12. I have these 3 charts here. Okay, they're not on this video, of course, but I have these 3 charts here. One for 6th graders. This is all done in California. In these 6th graders, it shows that the test grade they got on these certain tests, math, reading, and writing, and how it is affected by the amount of television they watch. So in terms of the 6th graders, they had the grade scale here, and then the amount of television here, and it showed that as the child watched more and more TV, the graph would just slope downwards. It wasn't such a huge change. It was probably about 7% between the children who watched 0 to 1 hours and the children who watched up to 4 hours. The 12th graders, on the other hand, also the same study in California. It was about 280,000, I think, children that were taken in the survey. They did it between 0 and 6 hours this time, and it showed about a 10% decrease between the children who watched 0 to 1 hours and over 6 hours a day. And this was just mind-blowing. I was shocked by this. I wasn't expecting there to be that much of a decrease. And the reason I think that there was this much of a decrease isn't because the television actually makes you stupid. I think the television does not make you stupid. I think there are good things about the television, but I think the problem with the television is that it makes these children lazy and not want to do anything. So these children are, instead of doing their homework, they're just going and watching television for 6 hours a day. I mean, who watches television for 6 hours a day? I'm not hating on anyone who does here, and I guarantee you, some of you must, and I just have my days, of course, where I just watch about 6 hours of television just to chill out. But what could I be doing instead of watching television for 6 hours? Of course, I could be playing soccer. I love playing soccer. Why don't I just go and shoot the soccer ball? Why don't I go and work out, lift weights? There's just so many things I could do instead of sitting there on a couch, eating a bag of potato chips, watching television. It's just, I consider it a complete waste of time now. In conclusion, the average child spends about 4 minutes out of every week in meaningful conversation with their parents, compared to the 30 hours a week they spend in meaningful conversation with their parents. This is just shocking, because this amounts to 2 months of television watching per year for the children, and only 3.5 hours of meaningful conversation with their parents each year. You'd expect these children to at least have some conversations at the dinner table that would last at least 30 minutes, but it's not true. That's not how it works. It's not meaningful conversation. They might be actually even talking about the television or have the television on in the background. And I consider this to be just as bad. Why don't you talk about to your kids about something incredibly important in the day, like the news or what's going on around the world or what are you doing in your life, or teach them something at the dinner table, or teach them something anywhere else, go play sports with them. There's just so many possibilities or things to do other than watch television, and that is my main argument over letting kids watch television. Kids are, especially between ages 8 and 0, are at the smartest point in their life. So why not utilize this ability that these children have of being just almost absolute geniuses? I mean, think about it. They learn how to speak in about 2 years. If we tried to learn a new language in 2 years, it'd be impossible. I mean, not impossible, but very, very hard. And I just think that the television is amazing as a product that has been, and amazing of a technological advance that has been. There's no important thing that it does for us other than waste our time and decrease the education of the population as a whole. Thank you.